Hi there, this is Shrikant. Today we will continue to work on our leave management system application development. As part of the today's video, I would like to design process model for this application. So click on new, click on process model. I'm going to call it as leave management system. Click on create. I'm going to retain the default user group and users. Appian is going to create a process model with the start and end node. So we have to add any additional smart services which are needed for our project. So I'm going to drop user input task and write to data store entity. Next, we have to add a node input as well as the process variable. Right click on the user input task, go to assignment. Here you have to specify the user whom you wanted to assign this task. In this case, it's going to be me. Go to forms, select the newly created interface, that is NIC leave management system interface. You will get a pop-up and select yes, so that Appian is going to create node input to match the interface input, that is nothing but the rule input. Click on data tab. Now we have to create a process variable for all these node input. So just click on plus. It will create the process variable and select the same process variable. Do the same step for all the node input. This is going to be read only, and I will pass the same value here also. Next, cancel node input. I'm going to create one more process variable for cancel node input, and I'm going to pass the process variable cancel value here. And we'll create one more process variable NIC leave summary, and I will pass the same value here as well. So my process variable is ready. I can see those four process variable here as well. NIC leave summary, cancel, is leave applied, and read only. Next, we have to change the name here. I'm going to change the name of this rule input, user input task 2. I will change the name of the user input task to leave request. And here I will also change the name employee leave request, and I will append this with the name of the submitter. So in this case, ampersand I will use, and I will use process variable inc nic leave summary dot name. Click on save and close. We are done with the user input task configuration. Now we will configure write to data store entity. Again, go to properties, go to data, select the data store entity, NIC employee summary DS data store, and I'm going to select the entity as NIC leave summary entity. Click on OK. Next, click on new input, and you can give any name here. I'm going to specify add leave details. This is of the same type what value we are passing. NIC leave summary. Select the process variable name here and save into. So what we are trying to do is we are storing the value given by the rule input to process variable NIC leave summary, and we are passing that value to database through this write to data store entity. Go to output tab of this write to data store entity and store the value written by the database into a new variable. So I'm going to call it as stored values. This should be of type NIC leave summary, and click on OK. Next we have to use script task. And in the script task we have to go to data tab and click on new input. Here I'm going to assign stored values. Oh, this should be of NIC leave summary, and select stored value and save into NIC leave summary. You can give any name here, say leave details. So very high level, what is going to happen is once the user enters all the data, it writes to database, and once it is written to the database, and database also pass all the record information back to write to data store entity, including the ID. Next, again go to user input task, right click properties, go to forms, call the same interface and go to assignment, assign it to one particular user, go to data, you can pass the value, the one which you created earlier, the same field properties I'm going to pass here. Since the manager is going to make some changes, we have to save that value back here. Okay, after updating the record, could be approved or rejected, we have to write those information back to our database. Again, for that I'm going to use write to data store entity. Go to properties, go to data, and select the data store entity. In this case is going to be NIC employee summary data store, and NIC leave summary entity is the entity name. Click on OK. Again pass the value here. It's going to be NIC leave summary, and value is going to be NIC leave summary. Click on OK, and we can change the name here, manager's action. Write to data store entity, write to DB with manager's action. Write to data store entity with leave request. Write to DB with leave request. Here what I'm also going to planning to do is go to properties, will change managers action required. Now I will append with process variable nic leave summary dot name, and again I will append with the string. So manage actions required, name of the employee, and leave request. Something like this. Manage action required hyphen name of the employee, then leave request. Click on save and close. Click on OK. We are pretty much done. I'm going to quickly validate this, and I will truncate my table. I don't have. Okay, I'm going to delete this record.
Now we will test this process model. For that, I'm going to click on File and click on Start Process for debugging. Just click on Refresh. It is now in Leave Request task. I'm going to click on View Form. Now I'm going to enter name and user ID 1234. I'll click on Start Date 15th August, and end date is going to be 17th August. Right now it is in the draft status. I'm going to click on sick leave and apply leave now. So it's submitted successfully. Now it has come to managers queue. When the managers is going to launch this form, it looks something like this. Name is there, user ID, leave start date, leave end date, and currently it is in the pending approval. As you see, all fields are read only except leave status. I'm going to select leave status as approved first. This is test approval. And now I'm going to submit my response. We will check in the database. I'm going to just refresh this database. Here you see the record has been inserted successfully with the leave start date and return to office date. And this particular leave has been applied on 14th August. That is again server time. I'm in Pacific time zone, and today is 13th August for me, and this is the server time zone. Leave status is approved, and the leave type is going to be sick. Now we will test rejection scenario. That I'm going to again launch my process model, and I will go to view form. This time I'm going to select name as Rob, and the user ID is going to be R123. Leave start date is going to be 15th, and leave end date is going to be 16th. It's going to be vacation, and click on apply leave now. Let me refresh the screen. Now request has been moved to manager's queue. When the manager is going to launch this view form, he will get a request from the Rob. This time the manager is going to reject rejection reason as test. and then he's going to submit this request. I'm going to refresh this, and let's see, to browse again. So second request has been rejected. We will try one more scenario. This time I'm going to launch this process model again in the debug mode. I will launch view form here. Kathy is going to apply C123, and leave start date is going to be 15th, and end date is going to be 31st. It's going to be vacation. Apply leave now. I'm going to refresh. So manager is not yet taken any action. He is not yet approved or rejected. Let's go back and check in the database. I'm going to browse again. This time record is created for Kathy's request with the status as a pending approval, and it's going to be vacation. So no comment yet. When manager launch his form, he has the option here. Let's say approved, test approved for third request. Just submit. It's approved, and we can check here. It's approved. Third request, Kathy's request. That's all for today. In the next session, I would like to design site for this application.